Greetings. You think so you have a unique business. You don't know how to model a success from someone because when you try to explain someone, people say, oh, what is that? There's not specific established industry exists for your business because I interview, that interview many people. It's rare for me to find someone who has a so unique business. So you hold on to your unique thoughts and join me today. I'm going to share with you that this has such a unique, maybe in fact, you may need my guest's help, expertise, and maybe you can actually learn so much from being a unique. Still, you can actually build a great business for yourself and for your clients, so everyone wins. So please stay tuned with us. In this episode, you are going to meet the founder and the president and the owner of Assets International, specialized in finding missing hairs, unknowing fortunes anywhere in the world, specifically, and he has clients all over the world, including from Pakistan. Why I said that? It's an emerging country, way far thousands of miles away. Still, he is helping clients from that place while sitting in here in Michigan office. Please join me to welcome Michael Zwick from Detroit, Michigan. Welcome, Michael.
Thank you, Mohammed. Pleasure to be here.
Michael, before we talk about business, I always want to know, where were you, what happened, who you were surrounded with that inspired you to find this Assets International, such a unique business?
So a little background on me. I graduated from law school, was practicing law for a few years, just another solo practitioner working to get by. And a friend of mine stumbled upon this amazing concept that there's money out there from probate estates for heirs and beneficiaries that nobody can find these people who are due their money. So he kind of stumbled upon this and contacted me and said, I need somebody to do a little bit of legal work here and there. And here and there kind of picked up more and more. It snowballed, and after about 2 or 3 years, I really enjoyed it. Got a lot of satisfaction out of it, and also found that it has become such a large part of my practice that there's the old kind of 80-20 principle that 80% of my time for law practice was taking up, was only giving me 20% of my revenue, and I just realized that just wasn't working. So I closed my practice and I went into Assets International because that's what I really just love doing. It was kind of accidental. It wasn't like I grew up thinking, oh, I want to have this business finally, because it didn't even occur to me. But once I did start, I just fell in love with it. Just the idea of helping people. I joke I'm like the new Ed McMahon, showing up, not surprising people with a big check for big money.
Yeah, it's like a lottery winner. Every one of your clients is a lottery winner because they even forgot that money exists somewhere,
Yeah, a lot of them didn't even know it existed, let alone forgetting about it. They just never knew it. So yeah, to see the way we've been able to help people change their lives is just, it's so gratifying.
I'm curious, and my people who are watching, they are curious too, how you grow a business like this, so unique, and how you actually model the success and mistakes, and you don't have anybody to actually discuss with outside,
So how we grew it was very much we did it organically. We didn't just say, hey, we've had some success here, let's hire 10 more people. We grew and added people as the need was there, as we were getting with more and more leads and more cases that were coming on our desk, we'd hire. We did at one point make a mistake of trying to grow too fast by taking on a lot of cases that we were looking at. Let me back up. We were looking really at, let's grow our revenue as much as we can. And one of the things we missed was not focusing on whether some of those cases worked on was profitable. We had to learn that the hard way, that biggest is not always the best. And now we are probably about 2/3 the size of what we were at our peak, but our revenue itself is higher, and let alone our profitability.
Yeah, alignment. You have to align yourself based on how much you can handle the right way.
Right.
and still do not compromise on a value. So what are the top 3 missteps to avoid when someone want to grow your business? Because you got gray hair and lost them too already, probably going through this process.
I lost a lot of hair. I like to say this was a full head of just a few years ago. No, definitely what I just touched on was big mistake we made was trying to be the biggest without keeping a better eye on being profitable. I'd say number 2 was from a personal perspective. I think this also goes not just from business, but also from my own personal growth. Was I had to learn that I shouldn't always rely on. I shouldn't just try to make decisions on my own without getting input from other people. I found it's extremely valuable to get input from people, whether it's making hiring decisions, whether it is venturing into a new market or new business idea. It really helps to have a sounding board. Some people don't feel that way. I'm a big believer, though, that having sounding boards is very valuable. And again, I've learned that from, I used to do all the hiring myself. I used to do the interviewing myself. And as we grew and I realized that some things weren't working out, I would bring in other people. I have an excellent vice president, Liz, who now makes more decisions on HR than I do. And because I realized I needed to, that I wasn't getting the input that I should have gotten. And I'd say a third one is probably that I wasn't as quick as I should have been, and probably still not, of separating myself from the nitty gritty. When I started my business, it's my baby, not my partner's. It's our baby, and it wasn't always easy to hand over certain responsibilities that I felt I could do better. But after all, I would learn that sometimes, even if the other person can have a learning curve to do it, for the long-term overall benefit of the company, it's best for me to step aside and let someone else do it, so I can focus on the bigger picture stuff, the growth stuff.
If I have a permission to ask a follow-up question on this one, because it's like letting your control. It's like control freak, from being a control freak to having a team involved. That's the whole theme of all the mistakes. How does that free you?
It's a little anxiety filling at first to give control, but once it starts going in, it is such a relief to know I don't have to deal with some of the stuff I just didn't want to deal with. I just felt like I was the best person to do so. But I realized sometimes I found that, there's the old saying, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. It's kind of like, sometimes I realize, like, well, wait a minute, I'm actually, there are times that come up where we have a question of how a particular file will work, and I have become much smarter to say, talk to Liz or talk to Kate, who's one of our other attorneys. They know much better than I do. It's a relief for me that I don't have to contain all that institutional knowledge. My partner Avram and I often will pose that question of, if one of us, God forbid, were to be hit by a truck tomorrow, or on the flip side, if one of us were to win that $1 billion lotto that's going on right now, and say, I'm out of here, who would fill that whatever role the next day? We ask that question whether it's our bookkeeper or whether it's me and everyone in between. We've become pretty conscious about that, of not having one person having all the institutional knowledge in their head and not being able to share it should that person ever leave the company for one reason or another.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. I know that you feel like vulnerable by sharing that, but that's really great. Thank you. So let's get on the positive side. So what are the top 3 success secrets to grow your business?
I think that's a great question. I'd say one, probably for me personally, is my innate sense of asking, well, why not? If not this, then why not that? Because what we're doing is so unique, and because we there aren't really predecessors. Not like anybody here in this company came from another air search firm. We had the benefit of not being saddled by examples of the past. On the other hand, though, we didn't have the benefit of having the examples of the past. But I've always been kind of one where if someone says, you can't do this, I'd say, well, what about if I do it this other way? And I think that's really helped the company. There are a lot of times just the small things and big things where decisions are made by some bureaucrats somewhere, as whether it's getting documents, how to process, excuse me, a claim or whatever, where they say, well, that's not going to work. And I just kind of have this, well, what if you're saying A can't work, how about B, C, or D? And coming up with B, C, or D. So I think it's been a big benefit. I think second, I touched on earlier, is recognizing that I have weaknesses and blind spots, and getting those people to be the yin to my yang on certain things. And then related to that is the being out there and talking to people. As an entrepreneur, I find talking to other entrepreneurs is, it energizes me. Entrepreneurs, we can talk, even when we're in totally different industries, can be talking the same language, can challenge each other, support each other. For a few years, I was a member of Entrepreneurs Organization, which EO, which is called, it's a second international group of second stage entrepreneurs. And the benefits I got from that of talking to other entrepreneurs, and we'd ask each other questions and say, well, why aren't you doing this? Or you seem to be really excited about that. Those are real things, but just talking to people who you might have totally different field from. You might be in totally different industries. By talking to them, that might spark something, or in my case, has sparked things that maybe say, hey, why don't I try that? Maybe that would be a good use of our skill set, and still in our wheelhouse. And I think that's been a really good thing that's really helped our company over the years, is just being open to talking to people.
That's amazing. You have got tremendous, great recommendations from your clients. Looks like generated over $50 million for your clients.
You know what? Thank you for reminding me. I have to update that. It's actually probably somewhere in the area of 80 to 90 million at this point. That's
oh.
So thank you very much.
That's even better.
I'm going to write myself a note right now to update.
Okay, good. So
right here is an example of the benefit of talking to people.
Yeah, blind spots.
Yeah, exactly.
No, wonderful. Thank you so much. So, Michael, how are you growing your business right now?
We are looking at different things. There's a joint venture that we are working with another company, and this actually comes from that very idea I was talking about. A few years ago, I was introduced to someone who's in the oil and gas business, which we do some work in finding mineral owners. And I was in Arkansas. He was there. We said, let's get together. And he and I went to a baseball game, and we just hit it off. We just really enjoyed each other's company. And we said, we'd love to work with each other. And for 2 or 3 years, we talked. We became real good friends. But we just couldn't find that one thing. And then one day he's telling me about how he was finding mineral interests for large companies that they didn't even know they owned. And I said, is that something we can repeat? And he said, absolutely. Many companies out there have mineral interests. There's our company. And we started it. It's called Traveler's Energy. It's in the infancy, but we're really hoping, we really see this as being a major growth opportunity for us of finding out mineral and other real property interests that the owners don't know about. And we're pretty excited about that.
Great. I wish you all the best on that one and beyond.
Thank you.
And how you get on a media with such a unique concept? You've been ABC News, Detroit Press, and NBC, and many others. So, it will be very hard for you to actually educate the producer and all that stuff. So this is something need to be on the.
To some extent, yes, but because we're unique and we have a really kind of a nice feel-good story to it, actually if we can get a reporter's attention, it actually sometimes isn't that difficult. Just recently, we recovered about there was a gentleman who died in Oakland, California. He left about $100,000 to an old friend of his that they were neighbors in the same apartment building, but nobody could find this friend. We tracked him down in Topeka, Kansas, and we told him great news. He signed with us. We got him his money. And then I just went onto the website for the local Topeka paper, the Capital Journal, I believe it's called. And I just went to look who in this paper writes human interest stories. And I contacted her and I said, hey, here's a little bit about our company. Here's a story that's relevant to your readership. And she said, excellent. And a week later, there was a really nice article about this man's experience and our involvement in it. It's a matter of sometimes reaching out to the press. So sometimes we've used some PR agencies that have gotten us good press, but sometimes it's just a matter of identifying who at a particular publication or in a particular market would do the story and just reaching out to them and telling what you do and keep it short and sweet, but really to the point. Because I'm sure they're getting bombarded by things all the time. They need to be able to cut through right very quickly.
Yeah, here's the lesson. If you have a unique achievement, reach out. Doesn't hurt. You never know. Reaching out is the key.
Yeah,
and
it's also, frankly, not being afraid of or discouraged when someone says no. I was just talking about my wife and I were just this weekend at we're on the side with her. She is a full-time health coach with her on the side. And we were at a retreat, and I was saying one of my favorite lines I'm a big Billy Joel fan. And a great line from one of his songs is, sometimes I wish I was less of a thinking man and more of a fool who's not afraid of rejection. I said, I love that line. I mean, I kind of practice it. I don't care if I throw out there, 10 requests for something. I look at it and go, great, I got two acceptances. And I accept the fact that not everyone's going to answer our call when we call them, tell them they've got money for them, and that's their loss. Or not every report is going to be, well, that's just nature. But the more you try, the more success you'll get.
Yes, and plus here's the guaranteed part. Until you ask, no is already done.
Exactly.
Nothing will happen until you try,
Exactly. Michael Jordan says, how many shots he missed, but he wouldn't have won all those championships had he not taken them. So. Yeah,
definitely. So how Growth Hacking Show community can help you?
So, like I said, I'm very entrepreneurial. As I mentioned, with this joint venture we're starting, it came up where there was no immediate obvious synergy. What I would say to all of you have many entrepreneurial minds that are listening to right now, watching this, and I would say, if you think that what you do might have synergy with what I do, and we can do something that's mutually beneficial, reach out to me. I'm on LinkedIn, Michael Zwick. I'll give my email address. It's mzwick, my first initial last name, at assetsinternational.com. Feel free to email me. And there is thank you for reminding me to change my address as well. You can see my email up there on there. Feel free to contact us and contact me. Let me know what you think as to what we can talk about, and maybe something will happen. Maybe we'll make magic happen.
Yeah, thank you so much, Michael, for sharing your wisdom with us today on the behalf of Growth Hacking Show community, and we really appreciate you. This is Mohammed Siddique signing off from Atlanta, Georgia. Wishing you good luck, good sales, and I do have a path cross again with another amazing guest. Until then, all best wishes.